We all know that Excel has many different tools and features that can help us on a daily basis to save time and also to automate tasks. So let's see 10 of those features and tools right now. Let's go. The first tool that we are going to see is the Clipboard. And the Clipboard in Excel help us to save all the items that we've copied. So if I click here in the Clipboard, I can open this right panel and now it's blank. However, if I copy anything here in my spreadsheet, let's say Control C, and I copy also some dates, Control C, Control C, Control C, and copy a lot of things. As we can notice, all those things that I copy are going to be stored here to the left. And it's very important and it can help us to save time because let's say I just copy right here vitamin K and I want to paste just right here in the new row. So Control V. However, if I copy another item and paste just underneath, I lost the first copied cell that was vitamin K. So if I want to paste again, I need to copy and then paste. So, or I can go here to the list and then select what I want to include right here. And as we can notice, the items are going to change based on the selection that I did here. Another thing that we can copy and save in this clipboard are, let's say, shapes. So if I go to Insert and then Shapes, use maybe a rectangle or any other different shape, paste right here. And if I copy this rectangle, as we can notice, it's going to be saved in the clipboard. And whenever I click in any cell and then select the rectangle, look what's going to happen here. The rectangle is going to be pasted in the cell where I selected. We can do it using charts, texts, entire ranges or tables and so forth. So the clipboard in Excel is very good to save time and to store everything that you have copied. And if you want to clear, you can go just right here and click in this button to clear all, or you can select a specific item and then delete. Simple as that. Linked picture is the second feature that we are going to see right now. And this feature can help us copy and paste as image. So let's say I have here two different data sets, the first one and the one underneath. I want to copy the entire one. So let me select everything, Control C, and I want to paste or copy to the side, Control V. But instead of copy and paste as a table, as a data set, I can go here to this little tag and go to the last option, linked picture. Now, instead of normally have cells in Excel, I have an image. And the benefit of using this image right here is whenever I change any data within my data set, let's say I select a couple of cells and then I can get rid of those cells, delete. As we can notice, the image is going to mirror my data set. And if I go again to the data set and change the colors using a yellowish one, let's say, as we can see, that image is going to copy everything that happens within this range right here, this area. Let me undo those actions. Okay, let me get rid of this photo. And another benefit to use a linked picture is that we can combine and change many different, we can organize differently our data set or data in Excel. Let's say I just want to take one single cell, maybe this one right here, Control C, and then to the right, right click, and then paste special linked picture. Another cool benefit is if you increase the size of the image, you are not going to lose quality of the photo. And let's say now I already have the cell that I need, and if I change anything within the cell and press enter, of course, the image is going to copy everything that happens within this area. And I also can take different things, Control C, and then paste as a picture. And of course, maybe we can create, using this methodology, a report or a dashboard in Excel, extracting off of our data set something that is very important, and then organize differently. Import data from web. Let's talk about now a tool that we have within the data tab, just right here from web, or you can go to get data from other sources and then from web. This tool right here can in real time connect with a website, let's say, and take all the informations of this website and input here in Excel. So let me show you an example. I'm here in Wikipedia, however, you can use any other different website. But let's say I want to take this entire data set and import in Excel in real time. And whenever this table right here gets updated, also my data set in Excel are going to be updated. But before we get back to Excel, it's very important to copy the address of the website or the page that you want to use. So copy this address right here or the address that you want to use. Now that we are in Excel again, we can go to the data tab and from web. With this new pop-up that's going to appear, I can paste the address that I copied before and click OK. Excel is going to load for a couple of seconds, and it's gonna show us here in this navigator menu all the options that we have to import in Excel using the website. I don't know what is the content that I need to use. So what we can do is you can click in the first one, and here to the right, you can see the data. So I can do it until I find what I need. So let's say I want to use this one right here. And then I can click load. And Excel is going to transform this data set or this web information into a table. As we can notice right here, getting data. It's going to load again for a couple of seconds to connect with the website. Now we can see that it's already done. And all the information that I had before in the website are here in this new table. But let's say you want to update your data set with the new data. You can simply go to the table design and refresh all. And Excel is going to load again, as we can notice right here to the right, and it's going to take the new data if the data was updated, right? Now, a very simple tip in Excel is using the ampersand sign. And that way we can dynamically update all the titles that we have. I have the title and also some subtitles. Let's say I want to first start with the title, 2024. As we can notice, there is a lot of places within the cells, within the charts that contains this information, 2024. However, if I change this title right here to another one, 2030, for example, and I'm gonna hit enter, look what's going to happen with the chart, with all the other informations. 1, 2, 3, enter. Okay, now here is update, also here, and also right here. This is how we can use the ampersand to dynamically set the titles. And if I change the subtitles, everywhere where I have the weeks are going to be automatically updated for me. Let's say I want to change to month, and then enter, 1, 2, 3. The chart, the legend in the chart, also here, the header, the title are going to be updated for me. To do it is very simple. Let's say, let me get rid of this information right here. First of all, you can use the equal sign and then select the cell that you want and hit enter. Now, the cell that you just did here with the equal sign are going to code exactly what you have in the cell before. If I change here 1, 2, 3, ABC, enter, the cell is also going to change. But how can I couple this information with another things? Let's say equal sign, and then I want to input a text that is not going to change. So open quotations, and then let's think something here, sales report per month. However, per month can change. It can be per weeks, per years, and so forth. So let me input another space to separate the text to the cell, and then close quotations. Now to append, to couple those informations, I can use the ampersand, and then I can select the cell and then hit enter. Simple as that. If I change now this cell right here to another one, enter. Simple as that. This is how it's going to work. And we can do the same thing for the chart. Let's say here, this header of the chart. As we can notice, whenever you click in the chart title, here in this formula bar, you can select everything, get rid of, and then select a cell. Maybe the title or maybe another cell. Let me do it again. Let's click right here, get rid of everything, and equal sign, and select a text, such as this one right here, and then enter. Now, whenever this cell right here changes, this one here is going to change, and it's going to change the title of the chart, and so forth. So this is how we can use the ampersand or the equal sign to dynamically set all the different titles that we have into our sheet. Flash fill. This tool in Excel can help us create patterns. So let's say you want to separate something, or you want to couple a cell with another thing, with a customized pattern. You can do so easily. But let me go to the first example. As we can notice, in the first column, I have some product information, such as the name, the color, the size, the type, maybe, and here, the value. All those informations are in the same cell, but I want to separate them into different cells. I can easily go here to a column to the right and input the first information, maybe the name. So, T-shirt, and then enter. Instead of doing it all over again to all the different items that I have, I can simply press the Ctrl E in my keyboard to enable the flash view. If you do not have the Ctrl E in the keyboard, or you can use the tools in Excel, and I'm going to show you just in a moment. Let's go here to another option. Indian red, that is the color. Enter. Now I can go to data, and here to the right, I'm going to have flash fill. Just click in this tool, and we're done. Simple as that. This is how we can create sequences or create patterns in Excel. Another example is I want to create an email address to all the new employees that came here into the company. So what I can do is I can use the first name, Jason, maybe .j. J stands for James. And another thing that you can see is the entire name that I'm using for the email address are being used in lowercase. Now I want to add a @ and then maybe Jopa Excel, that is the address.com. Enter. Okay, the first email is done. Instead of doing it all over again to all the employees of the company, I can enable the flash fill, Control E, and I'm done. So this is how we can use the flash fill in Excel to save a lot of time when we are talking about create patterns. Is another tool that can help us create patterns, or to be more precise, create sequences. Let's say you need to create some sequences or some IDs to make some data entry and create the IDs for all the products, for all the different customers that you have, and so forth. Instead of manually input the numbers 1, 2, 3, or another sequence, you can use just the first number 1, and then at the bottom right corner of the cell, click, hold, and drag down. Because as we can notice, Excel is going to code the same number over and over again. However, if you click in this little tag right here, the autofill, you can have access to more options. And you can go to fill series. And the way you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. But if you want to create a different sequence, you need to show to Excel what he needs to do. So let's say 10 is the first number. And then the next number is going to be 15. And then 20, 25, and so forth. We already know the pattern, 5 by 5, starting in the number 10. So if I select all those 4 numbers, and at the bottom right corner of the cell, click, hold, and drag down, I can continue the sequence. And if you go to the autofill option, of course, you can copy the cells. The way Excel is going to take those first 4 cells and copy over and over again. 10, 15, 20, 25, 10, 15, and so forth, and so forth. But let's go now to the dates, because we can do the same thing for dates. And here is very, very interesting, because let's say you are in January 1st of 2025. And every day you need to input a new row with a new task or with a new information, whatever. Instead of fill in manually the date, at the bottom right corner of the cell, you can click, hold, and drag down. And that way you can easily create a sequence. And another cool, interesting is, if you click in the autofill options, you can create a sequence for those dates using days, weekdays, months, years, and so forth. If I choose months, instead of Excel change the days, it's going to change the months. January, February, March, and so on. But let me get rid of those values, and maybe we can create a different sequence using a different pattern. Let's say January 15 of 2025. And then the last day of January, January 31st of 2025. But I don't want to create it all over again to all the other months, because I know that February doesn't have, let's say, 31 days. Maybe it has 28 or 29, or I don't know. So what I can do is I can select all those first cells, click, hold, and drag down. Now Excel is going to create a sequence for me. And if you see that Excel made some mistakes, you can go here to the autofill, and then instead of using fill series, you can go to fill months, for example. Now I have the correct answer. January 15 and 31st. February 15 and 28, March 15 and 31st, and so forth. We can do the same thing, use the texts and numbers. We can mix up those informations. Let's say I want to create a code or anything else, a identification for my products, A001, for example, and then A002, or B001, and then A1, B1, A2, B2, and so forth. I can select those cells, click, hold, and drag down. Simple as that. Now Excel is going to continue to create the sequence for me. This is how we can use the autofill to help us create sequences, patterns in Excel. Another excellent tool in Excel or feature is the Sparklines. Because with the Sparklines, we can create a little chart within a cell using a small data set, or we can actually use a large data set. It doesn't matter. So let's say I want to create some Sparklines to show me the difference between all those regions, west, east, north, and south that I have. What I can do is I can immediately select all the cells that I want to apply this Sparkline chart, and then I can go to insert, and instead of using a normal chart in Excel, that big one, I can go here to the right and select a column or a line or win-loss chart, but let's stick with a column chart for now. What is the data range that I want to use? The location range is already done because we selected it before. So let's go to the data range. Click here in this up arrow and select all this data right here. And then in this down arrow and then OK. Now with this chart, we can compare all the regions. And the bigger the column, the bigger the value. The smaller the column, the smaller the value, and so forth. But let's say if you change here just to see this dynamically change, instead of using roughly 7,000 right here, I want to use 0. And if I hit enter, the chart is going to automatically update. 1, 2, 3, enter. Yeah, that's it. We can see that it's indeed update for us. Let's do the same thing right here underneath. However, now using a Sparkline that is a line chart. And as the data range, I want to use all this data set again. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Now instead of having columns, we have lines within the cells. It's a much faster, or it's a much economic way to use a chart because this chart is within the cell. And we can also do some modifications to the chart, such as we can change the color of the column or of the line. We can also add some markers, such as the first point, the last point, the lowest one, the highest one, and so forth. Comments and notes. There are two different features in Excel that are kind of similar that can help us leave a message or a note within our dataset. Let's say you are working in this dataset right here. However, you didn't finish yet. So you want to input some notes to help the next person that you are going to work in this dataset. What you can do is, instead of go to the cell, let's say, and highlight everything in yellow with a yellowish color, and then input here the note, please get rid of this data set and so forth, you can do something very different and more professional. You can select just the specific cell where you want to apply a comment or a note, right click, and first of all, let's start with the comment. Just click here, new comment. With the comment, you can see your name and also your picture. And if you input here, start a conversation, you input something, please review this value, let's say. And then you can press here, send, or this button. Now your message is going to be saved right here. And the next person can come to the cell and he's going to notice that this cell has something because this little purplish tag right here at the top corner, and if this person click or just hover over the cell, it can open up the comment, and this new person can also reply to the comment. So this is a comment. You can post something, the next person can reply the thing that you post right here, and so forth. And with the note is kind of more simpler, because if you click in the cell, right click, and then go to new note, you can just type in a information, but you cannot reply, let's say. So you can type in anything right here, and then you can click off the cell, and that's it. The note is here, but you cannot edit easily, or you cannot reply to it. And to edit the note, you need to right click in the cell, and then go to edit note, and then input what you need. However, with the comments, it's much easier, and you can also reply to the comments. So this is the difference. However, both of those functionalities, features, are very, very important. Now talking about the Format Painter, I know that is a tool that almost everybody knows. However, that is a, let's say, hidden functionality. If you want to copy and paste the format of cells or of shape, chart, image, you can use the Format Painter. But I'm going to show you a hidden feature right here. But let's start with the easiest way to use the Format Painter, or the most common way. You go to a range or to a specific cell, and then you format the cell. I want to change the background to the blue color, the font to a white one, put everything in bold, and also use here a italic, and that's it. Now, instead of doing it all over again to all the cells or to a specific cell, I can select the cell that I did before, go to the Format Painter, click Once, and then go to the cell where I want to apply the same format. Click, and that's it. But if I want to do it again to other cells, if I click, nothing is going to happen. But so how can I select the format of one single cell and paste to many different cells? You can double click in the Format Painter, and this is the hidden feature. Okay, now if you click in any of other cells, we can notice that we can continue to apply the same format to all those new cells. And that's it. Now you can press ESC to get rid of the Format Painter, and simple as that. And you can also apply the same format to an entire column. Let's say I select the column A and change the format to a short date, like this. Let me also change the header to a greenish one. Okay. Now if I select the entire column A and double click the Format Painter, I can apply the same effect to all the different columns that I have. And as we can notice, it's going to work properly. Now let me show you the same example, but now using shapes or images and so forth. If I go here to the first shape, and then I want to use a different format, maybe an outline that is black, a shape view that is green, and a shape effect such as a orangish glow like this. And I want to apply the same effect for all the shapes that I have. Select the first one, double click in the Format Painter, and we can apply the same methodology as before. Simple as that. And then ESC, and we're done. So this is how we can use the Format Painter in Excel with this hidden feature. And the last but not least important feature is the navigation pane. If you go to View, you can have just right here the navigation tool. If you click in this button, you can open up this right panel. And with this right panel right here, the navigation, you can see all the sheets that you have into your workbook. And if you click in any of those sheets, let's say Flash View, you can see all the ranges or all the items that you have, shapes, charts, data sets, tables, and so forth. And if you click, let's say, in any option, let me click in this one right here, 1, 2, 3, I can go immediately to this range. Let me select another sheet. Maybe let's go here to Dynamic Titles, and I want to select the chart. So let me click here, and yeah, the chart is selected. So the navigation menu or navigation pane is an excellent way to navigate very fast through your spreadsheet in Excel or through your workbook. So those are the 10 different features and tools in Excel that can help us a lot. If you have any questions or any suggestions to the next videos, let me know, comment down below, and I see you tomorrow. As every day has a new video, I see you there.